I can't take it anymore. I can't I can't be a part of the piece of the puzzle that keeps things moving the way that they have always moved. And not just that, but I've always been clear about this. And now this just gave me an opportunity to show people and illustrate what the fuck I mean when I say that I am not here to gain privileges. What's up, community? It's Auntie Angelica Ross. What's brewing?
Angelica Ross is here.
Grand Theft Lover.
So get your cups ready for Minority Report. Welcome to Minority Report. It's Auntie Carell.
It's Auntie Dewan.
And it's Auntie Jarrell. Hey, y'all.
Oh.
Y'all need to get on YouTube. Y'all need to get on YouTube.
Something pretty on the screen. Something pretty on the screen.
Look, and it's not your aunties.
Yes.
we said it last week. We said it. We teased it last week that you want to tune into this week's. And baby, here she is. Hold on, I always do the little opening. I gotta bring it in the right way. So we got the activist, the first openly transgender woman to land 2 series regular roles at the same damn time, the actress, the singer, the performer, the Broadway star, the politician, the tech entrepreneur and CEO of Transtech Social Enterprises, the businesswoman, and the Miss Up, Up, Down, Down, Left, Right, Left. Miss Angelica Ross. Oh my Lord! Sorry, I just had to scream right quick.
I love you. Oh, sorry, Candy. No, down. I was exciting my Doberman. You stay, girl.
Wait,
my Doberman
name is Candy.
Her name's Candy. Yes.
I know that's right.
Because she's just so black and beautiful and fiercely loyal and will fuck you up on command if need be.
Yes.
I
love that. Ooh, does she have a middle name?
She doesn't, but I think it's gonna be Candy. Fuck them up, ferocity.
Because we will give our pets full ass first name, second name, and the last name.
Very true.
Jamarcus Deontay Alize, would you get your ass into?
That's why my dog is Trinity the Tucker the motherfucker. Like, he got a whole Bible.
Well, for some of us, those are children. So
Yes, absolutely.
That is so true. Well, love, we are excited to have you on here. Thank you for being here.
I'm excited to be here. Thank you. I'm loving the minority.
We do what we can around here. Just making sure people have a voice and we can, and we just come together and we just get to exist and be ourselves without having to worry about everybody else.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
I know
yes,
that's right.
I love that.
I have to say this before we get into like the meat and potatoes. Our paths have almost come across each other multiple times. So I used to live in Atlanta, so I moved to Philly last year. And first, you were at the 2019 Atlanta Black Pride, I think it was.
Yes.
And so, I was like right there by the stage, and you walk by. I'm like, "Oh, Angelica!" You're probably like, "Who is this crazy human being?"
No.
And we had just launched the podcast at that point. And so I was like, "Oh, I gotta get Angelica on the podcast. Passing cross, whatever it is. And then the barber I used to go to in Atlanta is your barber, or was your barber?
Tahir. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. And so even then I'm like, okay, Ty, like you gotta link me up. You gotta link me up. Come on. And he never did. That's okay, Ty. That's okay.
That's because a girl be busy. I'm telling you, like
and nobody wants to be that person. Be like, oh, come on. I was like, it was
no,
slightly teasing, but if he did it, he did it.
But you know what? I love to be connected. Especially what I've learned now to more so than ever. I really took what Issa Rae said to heart when she talked about like looking to your left and looking to your right instead of always trying to like reach up for that person that, oh, I can't wait to work with Oprah or, whoever.
Yeah.
And it's like, but at the same time, there's a lot of people who are putting in the work, who are working to be at the threshold of, doing the thing well, and so like, I know that's why I can't wait to get back to Georgia and continue sort of my own independent productions, because I know there's lots of talent in Georgia that just, especially queer and trans talent that still got to be worried about getting called one on a black set. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that part.
we don't need that. Yeah.
I hear you on that. So yeah, so when it was confirmed that she was gonna come on, I was like, oh my god, I wanted to like kind of boo-hoo low key because it's just like one of those things. It's just like it happens when it needs to happen. I'm a very true believer of that. But I'm just excited to have you here. So thank you again.
Well,
okay, I'm gonna sit back because I want to boo-hoo right now.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
So what's new? You got this new song out. Let's start there. There.
Yes.
The Grand Theft Auto cheat code.
Listen, I'm glad that you just said Grand Theft Auto.
Because it's Grand Theft Lover.
The Lover.
I
told myself not to say that. Told myself not to say it. It still came out.
Look, I looked at the font of it and everything, and I was like, "This is literally given Grand Theft Auto."
The thing is, I actually had to change the font, and like I didn't have to, but I did it to be careful because, basically, look, I think that I'm in very fair territory here. Calling my song Grand Theft Lover. But when I put it together as a text, I found a font that was like basically the exact font of, Grand Theft Auto. So I originally had that, and I originally had it indented in, just like there's an indentation in their font as well. And it looked great. But my team kind of gave me the advice to say, hey, great, love the play and everything. This is a little too close, and you might be in some. Just change the font. Don't do the indentation. Just kind of make a nod to it. So I found a font that was definitely different enough that it just, it still was white and gave that, thing. Yes. But and again, this is what happens when you learn tech skills.
I was literally just sitting here thinking, why in the hell is she worrying about fonts? Don't you got somebody in her network to do that shit for her?
No. And let me tell you why I don't. No, because let me tell you something. When the worst thing that I could have ever done is like getting to, like, when you work for me, you're not working for a company where you get to clock in and go hide somewhere or not, like fully show up to the position that you're responsible to, because I've worn the hat already. I've been the video editor. I've been the graphic designer. I've been the photo retoucher. I've been the web developer. I know how to do it all. So my thing is
you had 15 jobs.
I had 15 jobs. Yes. So like, and live in color. Yes. So like, I learned to do all of that so that, yes, it's great to be able to collaborate and work with other folks, especially when you have the budget, to pay people properly and do all those things. Sometimes you don't have those things. Sometimes you don't have the time. Sometimes there's just a lot of different situations. So what I do is I create for myself an environment where I'm constantly working and creating things. And when it's great and I got this person I'm collaborating with, great. They're not available, I can still keep going. I can still create something. So when I did the Grand Theft Lover, what actually happened was I wrote the song probably like a year ago, 2 years, I think a year ago. And I had took this online songwriting thing from her, her, the artist.
Yeah.
She did this online songwriting class. So I was like, let me go ahead and take this and see how she approaches songwriting. Yeah. So, and I'm always one who tells other people about like investing in your craft by learning the actual skills and whatnot. So I made that investment. So I take the class. So one of my assignments is to write a song by starting off with a chord progression. So I started a chord progression for one song, and then I wrote the lyrics. Then there's a second assignment. So that song, that song is so I cannot wait to release that song. It's called No Regrets, but it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. It's just so meaningful because I didn't, I just have to even tease you the lyrics because it just means so much to me.
Yes.
Yeah.
but like it the verse starts off, it's better to love than not love at all. I'll still answer anytime you call, but I can't stay. That doesn't mean the love goes away. We both know there's no one to blame. I just hope you'll still feel the same. After all these years, I'll never not want you. I'll never not care. I'll never not wonder, could we repair a love that's just so broken, it almost broke me too. But I've got no regrets. I've got no regrets. Because if I never loved you, I wouldn't be here. I've got no regrets. So it's like
Mm.
that was one of the
Okay.
songs. It just,
Yes.
oh my God, it just the way and the delivery of some of the things, like some of the nods that I do in the song to like Sinead O'Connor and just some of my influences. So that was great. And then my second assignment was
Low
to focus.
key, real quick, that has like a baby face cadence to it. It just like as you were saying it, I was just like, I'm thinking of like all the stuff from like back in the day, from like Surface to Karen White to
Ooh,
Babyface to Tony Tone to, like it gave me that kind of feel. So
thank
sorry, I
you. No,
didn't mean
those
to
are my
interrupt, but
no, those are my influences. Because Babyface is a goat when it comes to that
Oh
songwriting.
gosh.
My goodness,
Mhm.
that latest album he put
Disgusting.
out with the
come
girls was just
on,
I
right.
live
right?
for
I
that
wanted to slap
album.
him.
He
I'm like,
kept
why you
slipping.
still this good?
He kept slipping in on the second verse, and you like he just slipped in
Right.
smooth with it, just like with
Oh, I'm
the
still
cadence.
here.
Yeah, that's it's not an outdated like somebody who's an
No,
artist who
No,
hasn't figured
not at
out how
all.
to. So
that
so
man.
I wrote that song, and then my second assignment, I had to the focus was to, instead of going with the chord progression, start just focus on the lyrics, maybe already having a music or something. So I found this beat because I frequently have this like network of producers that I'm in community with. So I found this beat, and it was just nasty. I mean, Grand Theft Lover. It was just when I heard it, I was like, ooh. As soon as that, as soon as that doom, that like the
Yeah.
doom, doom, doom,
Yes.
I was like, oh, okay.
It's like this
And
one mines. Thank you.
and then I remember running a bath for myself. It was like really late at night, and just I love how when you're songwriting, it just is it's such an interesting process to sit. And it's like a writer does as well when you like sit for the silence and wait for the words to kind of drop in as you hear the things. And then I started coming. I know your moves because I'm always steps ahead of you. And then it just started going in this like game theme. And then I was like, oh, wait a minute. What if, because I would hear the thing and I was like, square one, that's like I'm back to square one. You know what I mean? Like, so
Mhm.
square, and then I was like, oh shoot, the PlayStation, square, triangle, like, you know.
Right.
So I'm
Right.
like, okay, square one, triangle, love triangle. And I said, it just started like, it just started coming or
Like
whatever.
word
Yeah.
So,
association. Yeah.
oh my God. And so like what really has been this process for me is learning to trust myself as a songwriter and as a producer. And, to be honest with you, sometimes the saying like all kinfolk ain't, all skinfolk ain't kinfolk and
Mhm.
all kind of things or
Mhm.
whatever. So it's like in the business, everybody's looking at you like a horse to ride. You know what I'm saying? Like to
Mhm.
place their bets on and to ride. And sometimes they want to create a whole package for you, and just kind of just shut up and go along with it. And I can make this off your name and do whatever. And it's just like, I hear you, but I'm also 42. Like, I'm not like a kid that just came on the block. I have something to
Yeah.
say. I have a
Mhm.
Mhm.
perspective. I also
And you've lived. Like,
I also play piano. I
yeah.
like there's just so many things I know how to do. And I was working with people who were not uh listening to me. They weren't like interested in helping me
Mm.
develop that talent, that
Mhm.
develop, like, because I knew that I knew I needed development. And that's the thing
Yeah.
that a lot of times queer and trans artists don't get is artist development, space or time.
Yes.
So
Mhm.
me getting famous and doing, some of these things or whatever, I was able to buy myself development time. And so there was time during the COVID, during a lot of time that I was developing my sound, developing, my songwriting. And now I got it down to a nasty science. Like I'm talking about, I got it down for nasty science.
I think I know what course you're talking about because I took the Charlie Puth one.
Yes.
Similar thing, and that one was incredible as well. So that's totally different.
I love the song a lot, honestly, and it's funny. Even when I saw the cheat code part, I was like, if I hear up down, left right, square one, if I hear, because everyone who plays a video game know the standard cheat code. So when you hit it with the up down left right, I was like, got me. Got me.
I was hoping for the 80s babies and the people like my age that, like when I was playing Mortal Kombat, I'm like up, down, left, right, finish him, And
you accidentally fuck it up and you just punch him. You're like, man, ain't that a bitch? That's when you had to go get the magazine. I used to go.
I used to get the magazine
in the snow and try to rip the page out.
Write it down.
Don't know about that. That's struggle life.
And they don't know. And I'm currently playing the new Mortal Kombat game too. So it just hit it was the perfect timing for all of that as well too.
I'm glad.
So I was just like, this is exactly the song I need to hear right now in this moment. And I also have to say, I really love Purr. And I also love Purr too, by the way.
Thank
I just have to let me tell you, baby.
And
it's nasty. I like the nasty.
Well, we wanted to give something for the kids, and Her, I wrote maybe a couple days after I wrapped on Broadway. So I was in New York City doing Chicago on Broadway, which again, it changed my life. It changed my life, and not for the and this is what people have to understand about these opportunities. Like, I'm gonna be real, the opportunity was not what I expected it to be. It was just, as a Black trans person, you get into the space and you're the star and you're headlining and still have to deal with certain things like not being treated like the star. I'm not on the playbill. There's no advertisements in Times Square that I'm, but it's like all this, the first trans person doing this or whatever, but I'm not getting the full star treatment,
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not being invited onto the late night talk shows, and I'm starring. Jinx Monsoon stars as Mama Morton, talented, funny, lover, as Mama Morton, and is on the talk shows as Mama Morton. You understand what I'm saying? Mama Morton's a great role, but it's not the lead of a Broadway musical as a trans. So there were many layers to that. So I wanna tell y'all something, because I want to paint a picture of a missing piece of sometimes the gossip and the things that are out there or whatever. But
absolutely,
so when it started to hit that this motherfucker ghosted me, and he could at least call me or something. Why is he not but you told and just drag all this, but not even and it changed my trajectory as far as what I could do. Now, don't get me wrong, most of my money I did make outside of film and television, but it was that factor that helped as a piece of the puzzle to do certain things.
Right.
And so when that stopped, and all of a sudden I realized February, when I sent that email that I sent, hey, let's see what it's going to be, what is season 11 going to be. The thing is, people, one of the big things that people are miss or don't understand about it is that it wasn't just that I pitched an idea that just eventually changed. It's a situation where the crew and the cast were fatigued from shooting season 10 because it took us it only should take 3 months, maybe at the most. It took us about a year to shoot season 10 because of COVID shutdowns and this and that or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
So
people getting sick and all that.
So as we were reaching towards the final of the season, the plan That email he sent me was way before this moment of us getting to the end of the season. So the plan was, hey, we're going back into filming in 2 weeks after we finish wrapping season 10. So I'm seeing the directors there who understand that there's a shift being made for season 11, knowing that it was going to be like an all black season and all of this. So it wasn't that it was this far off thing. It was that in 2 weeks, I was going to be preparing to start filming this new season.
Right.
Then they came back and said, okay, that was a little ambitious of us to think that we were going to jump in 2 weeks after finishing 10. We're going to go like a month or it's going to be a month or 2 months. Then that month or 2 months turned into top of next year. So mind you, I'm in hold for first position to be on the season, not just of a future idea that might come about, but we were about to start filming and then it got pushed and then it got pushed. So anybody that does any kind of job knows that usually get a couple week notice, a couple days, something to know that whatever that the thing is changing, but to know that, oh, in a couple weeks I'm going to work or this is about to happen. So that led me all the way up until that email of February of 2022 when I'm like, hey, what's happening? Find out that's, February of 2020, I think it was, and again, COVID, they think boy math or girl math is something.
COVID math.
Baby.
COVID math. It's a vortex.
Honey, I know.
I'm back to counting on my fingers. I'm like,
it still feel like
it
still feel like 2019 to me.
So the timeline is very confusing to actually think about and look at. But when it comes down to February or March, when I talk to them and they say, hey, you're not coming back. Now I'm just doing my regular job and hoping whatever happens, nothing else is happening. Come summertime comes up, Pride is busy as hell for me. So I'm busy, I'm doing my work, whatever. And then I get an email around June or July, some around that time about doing Chicago on Broadway. And originally, what they offered me, I said no. And I again asked for more money. All of the situations that I've been in, I'll never take the initial offer. I always ask.
That's in everything.
I always ask for more money, and most of the times I get it. But this time I did get more money. I just didn't get what I wanted. And so the reason why I'm telling you this is because, like, to do 8 shows a week for Broadway, let's just say I averaged about $1,000 a show. Broadway. Doing 8 shows a week.
Yeah.
So what unheard of.
So what that looks like is being so exhausted and also knowing that I can't fail in this moment. I have to absolutely rise up to being able to perform and have people walking away like, wow, she did a great job. So every audience that I met afterwards was, I thank God I didn't lose my voice. I had like 3 vocal trainers that helped me stay in condition.
Yeah.
So what I say all of that to illustrate the fact that sometimes the opportunity does not necessarily meet you and I've heard Tracy Ross talk about this too as well, meet you at your value, at where you're valuable. Yeah. But what is happening though is that it is affirming for me and unlocking my right to not only take up that space, but really affirming for me, bitch, you got this. Like you just did 8 shows a week. You can do a tour. You can do a small tour and do. Girl, that ain't nothing compared to the 8 shows you just did.
And that was going to be my question, because it's like, out of all that struggle, what do you learn from that? And that's the valuable lesson right there. It's just like, yes, it might not be a monetary value, but that's a mental value. That's even a physical value that you could tap back into in the future. Be like, oh shit, hold on. Okay, I'm tripping on myself right now. I'm having some doubt in myself, but hold on, you did this. So you can do that.
It was work, baby. That Fosse choreography. It's one thing to be doing a schedule and just do a play and be acting. That's work. That's work. Yeah. I'm an actor. That's work. To act and sing and dance.
And just for context, I looked it up, and according to thestreet.com, a famous actor or actress in a lead role on Broadway could receive $100,000 or more per week, especially if their contract calls for percentage of ticket sales. So by comparison, 8,000 to 100,000 per week. So just for those that are saying, oh, wow, that sounds like a lot of money, Angelica, why are you complaining? That's why you're complaining.
A 25th.
Let me rephrase that. Not complaining.
That's
That's what she's calling to the carpet. Let's be clear.
That's called pay me what you owe me.
Look,
Don't act like you forgot.
And there's a union. There's a union for them that are fighting for better wages, and a lot of them are, I realize working with them, it's a family. The cast is a family. They're employees that are clocking in and doing their work. And what's unfortunate is that each one of them, as great as they are, I mean, insanely great. These people are so talented. As great as they are, they know that the industry is telling them, I got someone who will replace you in a New York second.
Yep.
Yeah.
So either you deal with what it is, or somebody else wants the Broadway dream.
Yeah.
And until when they get in there and realize it's a little different, then give me 2 seconds. Give me 2 seconds. I gotta plug up. I see my thing is saying 10%. Hold on 1 second.
No,
but that's the interesting thing about like the show business and what we're seeing right now with a lot of the with the writer strike and with the actor striking and like all of this activity. There is so much money being made at the top levels, and it's not just like what we see in politics, like, oh, the 1%. Yeah, there's a 1% everywhere.
Right.
Yeah. And it's like, I mean, you see it in corporate America, like, and it's sad, honestly. And it's just like, how do you even begin to dismantle some of this shit, And then it's just like, here you are trying to do your 8 shows a week, trying to dismantle shit. It's like, bitch, I'm tired. My feet hurt.
Yeah. But I mean, I will say, and I've said this from learning from you two, though, the power of having people around you that encourage you to bet on yourself and to start saying that I am not going to accept this anymore. And we've said this on the podcast too, just even, as Black folks, or just the systems that are in place are designed for us to fail from get-go, right? To not be able to be in certain rooms or do certain things. And so it's really amazing when we have those moments where we can be our authentic self and say, you know what, I want more for myself.
Yeah. And also there's something that's within the Black community specifically. Now, I don't know, like with, millennial moms and, and Gen Xers and, all that. I don't know if that's still the case, but a lot of us were told or conditioned to settle for safety. Settle for safety. And so if you find yourself a good job and then stay there until you retire, like that's the motto. And that in itself is an element of corporate slavery of the mind, the mind, because you are so much more capable. And there is, from an earning potential, there is limitless possibility from an earning potential. I had a conversation the other day with, a young Black man. I do a lot of coaching and mentoring, in the office place and outside of it, about navigating careers. And, one of the pieces of advice that I always tell, and this isn't necessarily related to Angelica, but in the vein of just working, never stay at a job more than 3 to 5 years. That window of 3 to 5 years, if you're not progressing in your rank within the organization, you are missing out on incredible opportunities to grow your financial wealth significantly by not moving to another company. And I've seen it in my own life. I've seen it in the lives of others that I've coached and that I've watched. People that have, let's say you're an accountant and you're at this job and you're making, $67,000 a year. And that's a good living if you're living in the Midwest. You can leave your company that you've been working for 3 years, go to another company doing the same exact job and have a $20,000 bump in your salary doing the same job at another company. And people don't understand like the math of staying with the company where you get if you get a bonus, And if you get a cost of living increase, which is usually between 3 and 6%, that ain't going to compare with 20 grand.
Yeah.
So, but we're conditioned to think that way.
Yeah. So how do you
Welcome
overcome
back,
that fear? Yeah. Welcome back, baby.
Thank you.
We-
Sorry. It was fine. It was like I plugged up. It said 10% plugged up. Soon as I tried to plug it out, take it out to
It's like,
kind of
"Oh."
move around the cord,
Yeah,
it was like,
I need a little more.
goodbye, girl.
He said, we're going to have to renegotiate this.
Right. Exactly. But yeah, I'm
But,
glad. Thank you so much for breaking that down, though. That people understand that how much money could be made,
Yeah.
and so not
Mhm.
just about the money that could be made, but again, quiet down. Not
Come on, Candy.
not just about the money that could be made, but also it's the double talk, it's the two-facedness for me around talking one side of your mouth about how important and big and major and whatever the moment is and blah blah, but not valuing it monetarily or not like fully putting the marketing team behind it so that it has the impact that it is supposed to have. So again, and at this time, I had people, including my nephew and some other folks, who were living in a house that I had in LA. And so the funny thing is that people are something else. Is all I can. People are something. People are something else, and all I can say is I have always created environments where I give people opportunities to learn, to work, to show, and not as volunteers. I'm not sitting here taking advantage of people. I'm paying people well to do things. And I got back from Broadway, and when I got back to the house and realized people couldn't sweep or screw in a light bulb or pick up Candy's poo. That's so hard. It's so like, oh my God, it's not my dog, but the check clears. So so
That's
the
when I'm
thing,
like, everybody get out the house.
baby,
Honey, I'm
baby.
loving this
Everybody get out.
energy right now. We are tracking on the same wave.
Baby, I had got home before I got home. I told one of them, I said, I need you to clear the house. I need the
She
house.
said, get your shit. Get your shit and get
Folks,
out.
and folks want to report on my personal business and be really like, again, playing telephone, getting facts wrong, getting all kind of things wrong. Oh, Angelica did this wrong, got rid of roommates and did this, blah, blah, blah. Baby, I don't have roommates. I had employees who has salary plus room and board plus healthcare. You understand what I'm saying? Paid for. So like, don't front like I'm not sitting here. So what happened was I'm in Broadway working my ass off to the point where one week I didn't realize I had COVID because I was that tired from just the sort of thing that it was. But once I started losing lines and couldn't remember, like I was like, oh shit, that's COVID. But like when I realized how hard I was willing to work for my opportunities, as great or not great as they may be, how I show up regardless of the situation, it gave me a newfound thing. When I tell you I got home, I had the biggest smile on my face as I was cleaning the crown moldings.
Yeah.
Because I just was like, you did this.
Right.
You did this and you earned this. And
you
not
can
only
do it
that,
again.
and I could not,
it's mine.
and not only that I could do it again, but this was extra. This was extra so that I could build on top of the promise or the things that I was trying to do here in Hollywood. But I own my home in Decatur, Georgia. This here in LA is extra for me to play the game here. But since y'all want to do all that, I don't even need to do all that, actually. I can drop the weight. I can drop the weight. Sis dropped the weight.
Look,
and I'm looking
said,
great.
Okay,
I know that's right.
I have a
lotion
question.
and all. I know that's right.
I have a question for you. As you think about being on this side of your elevation, call it that. what are the telltale signs? Because when you think about, and you touched on this earlier, like people will butter you up. They'll tell you what you want to hear. I mean, people have been doing that for as long as people have been alive, you know, and people want to get in your pants. They have their own agenda. They're going to string you along. And sometimes what you experience can feel very genuine until the other shoe drops and you realize what their intentions are. And I know we all have been on that side of the coin. Are there any telltale signs that you've been played?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot. And one of the lessons I learned is this. Listen, people know I am the people's champion. I am the champion for human rights. I'm the champion for all abilities. I am a champion for those things. And so I oftentimes also my Buddhist practice sets me up in a space where I understand that every person does have the ability to do amazing things with their life, whatever that looks like, but that's just the general thing. So to know that and to them to watch people not live up to that and to constantly either be flailing or dropping the ball or blaming circumstance as to why they're not doing X, Y, and Z. Oh, I haven't found this job, or I haven't been able to this, or this place is racist, or this place is homophobic or transphobic, whatever the situation may be. And there were a lot of the signs have to do with a lack of self-awareness, obviously, and a projection of the outside circumstances or world controlling their everyday experience. And there's this sign where I can see people living by external forces, versus living from an internal motivation and an internal clock that gets you up and excited about things. There's a lot of folks that I was working with that were not excited about getting up the next day. They weren't excited about life. They were barely excited about the opportunity I was putting in front of them, which kind of got weird to me because I'm like, who am I? Like, am I just the sister girl around the corner? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't value being in my presence and knowing all the things that I do and talk about and say, and you not picking up what I'm putting down. And
the disrespect.
What I realized was it's really, really at the core of the human condition and what it is all about. And there's so many layers to this, but it's all about someone who still is living from again, seeking outside of themselves or for value and don't see the value yet within themselves. And so they don't see the step that they're in currently as a viable step and so they're actually even shitting on the moment, on the thing. It's a thing right in front of you and you don't even see it because you are looking for certain things. So say for instance, when I come into people's presence, people may see me and think, oh my God, this is my moment to sell her on me or this idea or this and the third. And it's not. It is to recognize and affirm that you are in an environment where these things exist and it is a reflection of yourself. But you cannot have this feverish tone about you that is about this thing outside of myself, this person, this opportunity, this conversation is going to make or change or break my life. And there's so many people living in a energy that is waiting for something to come along and shift things for them when they haven't realized that you are the one that needs to shift, sweetie. You need to shift. That is,
you are the spoon.
You are the visuals.
You are the visuals, baby.
Beyonce was telling us all, y'all need to shift. Because you are the visual.
Yeah.
I have a question, though.
That's powerful.
Like, obviously, like everyone's talking about Angelica right now, and I kind of said earlier, like I just feel like things happen for a reason, and people come in for a reason, a season, and it's time to go. It is what it is. Do you feel the right reasons came into play for you, or are you still figuring that out? Like, because I
Yes.
mean,
No,
there
listen,
might
the
be
right
people
no, the
that
right
are
reasons.
talking, you're like, damn, I didn't think that person was going to say some shit about me or this, you know, and it's just like, have you been able in the midst of this craziness right now, figure out that's the reason?
Absolutely. Number
Okay.
one, we say Buddhism is reason. And
Yeah.
so what it gets us to do is look at life in a reasonable way. What I know is that I didn't necessarily want to do this. I didn't necessarily want to do this. I have been at the White House and a lot of places for over a decade in these
Yeah.
conversations with folks, and I've had people tugging at me for over a decade. Girl, when you going? No, girl, I'm not doing. No, girl, no, girl, no, girl. You know, and what I know about spirituality and what I know about life is when you are not obedient to the call on your life, you will suffer
Hey,
in other ways.
that's
And
hard.
and so it's not that I was being disobedient to the what I feel like the purpose of my life, because I've always spoke up about whether I was famous or not, whatever. I always spoke up on white supremacy, police brutality, but abortion right, whatever the thing is. But I understood what I'm gonna tell you what was happening when I was getting into Hollywood and starting to become famous and get into that space. I was starting to get not depressed, but like something was not, it was not feeling good, because all of a sudden I was having to show up at spaces and events and be fake. And that's not even a
Mhm.
that's not even what I signed up for. Like,
Right.
and but yet I gotta act in this space that is not scripted, like I don't have a problem with you right now in this space. And that I don't know how problematic you are on X, Y, and Z. You know what I'm saying? So there were many times where there was a photo op or different things, it just like, or even still this idea of even friends and stuff like that. And you realize your friend, they not really your friend. These, like your mama said, them they not your friend.
They're not your friends.
Yeah.
Look.
Yeah.
They not your
Use that.
friends. Them people you go to work with, they not your friends.
Honey.
And when I realized that, I started to get I turned inward for a while, and living in LA was like me being in my own space and not really going out unless I was like booked to be out and had to be out, for a reason or whatever. And so I just kind of started to turn inward, and I didn't want to really participate because I just felt like it was, in order to navigate the space, someone who speaks up on certain, it just was eating me up. And so when I end up seeing, this is the one thing I will talk about, because I call SAG because the system don't work for us. So when we have a strike and we have a situation, Black and brown projects are suffering. They barely get there on the thing, and now we can't talk about them and promote them after all the work that they've done. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, she can come to you. Candy, go call her, please. Yeah. But so there's a show. I mean, just to say hi. So, but she can come back if you don't. Oh yeah, you could do your thing. I'm just on a podcast. Just don't talk. But so when I saw The Other Black Girl on Hulu, I was like, somebody fucking with me, like something. Y'all fucking with me, like, because how did this even get greenlit on the air to discuss the subjects in the way that they do and reveal the microaggressions, not only that we have to deal with, but what Black people have to do and assimilate in order to be comfortable and ease the pain of racism and oppression and what have you. And getting to a real place in the conversation where it gets to a point where it kind of literally I swear the bitch came through the screen and looked. The bitch came like the fucking what's that?
Like
The
the
whole-
ring.
From the
Like
ring. Yeah.
that bitch came through the screen and was like, "So, bitch, what you gonna do?
She said,
What you
I'm the
gonna do,
captain
bitch?"
now.
Like, and I'm sitting here like, oh my god, because I can't take it anymore. I can't be a part of the piece of the puzzle that keeps things moving the way that they have always moved. And not just that, but I've always been clear about this. And now this just gave me an opportunity to show people and illustrate what the fuck I mean when I say that I am not here to gain privileges. I am not here to get comfortable. What I know is that the best parts of my life, what I know is that the best growth spurts that I've had in my life is when I got uncomfortable. And the situation we have right now is that people are clinging to comfort, clinging to it right now, hoping that the mass shooting don't end up on their block, hoping that the hurricane, the blackout, the world fires, the fucking racist thing, like hoping that American roulette doesn't end up at their front door. But the reality is that you got to get uncomfortable, and you got to get comfortable with being uncomfortable, because pain is a signifier when in the body, letting you know something is happening, something's wrong or whatever. If we're muting ourselves to the pain that we feel from society, that is what's causing the lingering the illnesses to like linger and fester and do all the variations,
gangrene and all that.
the variations of all of this. And so I had to disrupt that to let people understand. I've done this like 3 or 4 times when I've wagered everything on the table and said, let me show you what the fuck I mean.
Yeah.
All this.
Yeah. Girl, hold on. We got two episodes?
With her? Yes, ma'am.
I cannot believe it.
That 15 job. I love her.